Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. I've been waiting for this moment, not because I was eager to, participate or anything, but I was eager to find out and share with you some of the methods maybe used by the Russian, how should I call them, investigators, interrogators of the Azov style plant fighters that, they came out. That's how they didn't surrender to the Russian army, if you remember, in Mariupol, and they were captured because they surrendered, and then they were interrogated. And I was talking about some ways that I think are standard in interrogation, or at least getting the information for from the subjects. And it seems like all those things are confirmed by the former prisoners, so the Azov-style plant fighters, the Ukrainians who surrendered. Some of them were released from captivity by the Russians, and now those guys are talking about how the Russians, extracted information from them and what they were interested in. So very interesting article, I'd say. Of course, you have to be mindful that this comes from a Russian source. This comes from Ukrainska Pravda from July 6th, 2022. And this is the title. Russians try to beat out lies about Azov fighters Redis and Kalina. Azov defender back from captivity. So Russians tried to beat out lies about Azov fighters. So to beat out lies about. Okay, let's see. The Russian occupiers are trying to beat out false and provocative information about the leaders of Azov who were at Azovstal, Commander Denis Redis Prokopenko and his deputy Sviatoslav Kalina Palamar. Let's see. Azov fighters who returned from captivity in the Russian Federation on Azov's YouTube channel said they literally grabbed 2 or 3 people and said that they wanted information on Redis, Tavr, and Kalina. Details. The men said that propagandists and representatives of the Russian-aligned separatist mass media, came to the Ukrainian defenders in captivity and asked provocative questions. I don't think anything is provocative in those kind of circumstances. I mean, in particular, well, they hurt their feelings. Is that what it was provocative? I mean, obviously, you ask whatever you want to ask, and you don't want to answer, they will help you. In particular, they claimed that the Ukrainian defenders were attacking the Russian invaders, but the Ukrainian fighters replied that they were at home in Mariupol and were defending their homes. Moreover, occupiers, and I'm in parentheses, under the influence of alcohol, that goes without saying, beat Ukrainian soldiers and demanded false information about the leaders of the Azov Regiment who were at Azovstal. The fighters said that the occupiers realized that Russian intelligence had failed because they had given assurances that the Ukrainian defenders would surrender, especially in the cities close to the Russian Federation and Kharkiv in particular. He also said the invaders believed that they would be able to capture Ukraine in 3 days. I'm pretty sure this low-rank bottom-feeder fighter, he was told by another low-rank bottom-feeder abuser exactly what Putin and Lavrov and Shoigu and Peskov and all those guys decided out there. I'm pretty sure that bottom feeder, how do you call it, uh, abuser would have all the information. So yeah, right. I mean, if you've been to military in the military, you know how much information you have when you're over there only to shoot. That's all you do. They tell you what to do, and you use your shooting skills. That's what you do. You go over there, stay over here, go around there, stay, don't go, stay, shoot, bam, boom, bam. That's all you do. You don't know anything about what Zelensky spoke last night. You don't know anything about the foreign policy. You don't know what Lavrov spoke with Indonesian president. You don't know that thing. And definitely you don't know what is the military expectation in your capital. I mean, you can guess, but so that's why I don't think this is But nevertheless, this is an article. He can say whatever he wants. How are you going to counter him? The Russians will say that's not true. The Russians are bad. Not you can't trust the Russian, right? In Russian captivity, Ukrainian soldiers hardly communicated with each other. You could only go to the toilet with a bodyguard. Yes, yes, that's how you do here in prisons as well. He said that according to gossip amongst the occupiers, Redis and Kalina had been moved to Russia. We already know that, to the Lefortovo pretrial detention center. Yes, we know that. Thank you. The Azov defender, nicknamed Tork, is one of the Ukrainian soldiers who, on 29th of June, during the exchange of prisoners, managed to return to territory controlled by Ukraine. Very good. Congratulations. He is currently in a Ukrainian hospital. Tork was seriously wounded during Russian shelling in Mariupol. He did not know that. He was to be part of an exchange until the last moment. Now they say background. They're going to give you some background. The Ukrainian defenders of Mariupol, who were evacuated from Azovstal in May, they were evacuated by the Russians. They surrendered. That's the word, surrender. Evacuated by whom? By the Americans from Azovstal. That's how it sounds. If you don't know what's going on and what happened, you say they were evacuated. Okay, well, that's nice. The war must be over, and they were just from Azovstal in May, are being held in a penal colony in Donetsk Oblast. Ukrainska Pravda sources in the Ukrainian government said that 2,449 Ukrainian servicemen were being held captive in Olenivka. Now, they always mention this. They always mention their number and the Russian number. The next paragraph. The defenders of Mariupol entered Russian-controlled territory. They entered it. They entered. No, they were grabbed and dragged. That's how they entered it. But they entered. They evacuated. They were evacuated and then they entered. Hey, can I come in? Yeah, sure. Why not? Here. Why do you want to drink? So the defenders of Mariupol entered Russian-controlled territory on 16 to 20 of May, according to the Russian side, 2,439. The Ukrainians were 2,449. So 10 people are missing here every time they mention this. So Russians are minus 10 people. That will never appear, I guess. Fighters came out. So the Russians, the 2,400, they came out. Came out as what? Of the Azovstal bunkers. Representatives of the Red Cross registered the Ukrainian defenders as prisoners of war. Good for you. But they came out. They didn't surrender. They just came out, and then they were evacuated, and then they entered the Russian-controlled territory. Now, if you tell this to someone who doesn't know anything about this, it's a different picture than I would say. They lost. They were surrounded. They surrendered because they would be killed or they will die of starvation. They came out because they surrendered. They said that we're going to die. And then they were taken prisoner, grabbed, taken to the Russian-controlled territory, right? And then over there, they will be investigated a little bit. All right, so it says here on 19th of June, Russian media reported that the commanders of the Azov Regiment were taken from the occupied territory of Donetsk region to Russia for investigative actions. Yes. Prior to that, Denis Prokopenko, the commander of the Azov National Guard Regiment, handed over his duties to Major Mikita Nadtochi. On 29th of June, as part of the large exchange of prisoners since 24 February, Ukraine returned 144 military personnel, including 95 Azovstal defenders. So, I'm pretty sure that those guys will, as I said before, they will be asked to make stories. They will make stories. They will sign statements. They will be videotaped telling the stories, and that's how it is. Do you think that it's like in the movies, and even the movies show this kind of tactics, which are based on reality? You want to look at that? Look at Vietnam, for instance. Those are the clear examples when you had the American prisoners of war over there in front of the camera saying how bad United States government is and how sorry he is that he killed the fantastic people of Vietnam and all that. It's still available. You can still watch that. So nevertheless, that's the way it works. And it's not the Vietnamese who invented that. That's been, since the propaganda was invented during this kind of situations and television and radio and so on. So, yeah, I'm pretty sure this little guy, if he was interviewed or something, he had his signature with a little bit of blood over there like that. and said, okay, just let me go. Mamma mia, let me go. That's what's going to be. Yeah. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just. And we're going to find out what happened with those two leaders. We're going to find a lot of stories.